All right. Good morning, man.
What is up?
How you doing, brother?
Fucking always wonderful, man. Always chilling, having a good time, just working on research. Just finished working on some papers here and just having fun, man. How about you?
Man, I'm just cleaning up the house, mowing the lawn. I had a decent workout, but yeah, it's gonna be a good day. Got to get to work after this. But real quick, I just want to say good morning, everybody. This is the Dre Talks podcast. I'm rebranding right now, so I changed the logo. I changed the name. It was DREH. Now it's DRE, just simple Dre, so everybody understands. Because for some reason, people don't know how to say DREH. I don't know why, but so this is the Dre Talks podcast. We're rebranding. I got a new song in the intro. I got it all. Today we're using a new app. Thanks to Nathan right here. So just real quick shout out to Nathan. You want to introduce yourself, brother?
Yeah, bro. My name is Nathan, Optimal Nathan. I am a coach and educator. I specialize in thyroid and cellular development, mitochondrial function, power production. But I do a whole lot of work on the thyroid. That's what I'm primarily known for. But I coach athletes of like all different types of ways. I have moms who just want to look good for the beach. I have professional athletes on world stages winning titles for the U.S. team in several different sports. I have bodybuilders that were building fucking monsters. I have school teachers. Uh, I have people that we have reversed Hashimoto's, reversed Graves' disease, working with people in hashitoxicosis and the oscillating case, which is the most complex case in all of thyroid in the thyroid world. I have an educational community and platform, which is, in my opinion, which I'm biased, but I've already taken pretty much every course there is to take under the sun, so I kind of know how everyone's courses work. It's deep. Like we get people from like knowing absolutely fuck all about a subject all the way to reading academic papers through like a development of the course, the way that I word things. I have a master's degree in how people learn and teach and how human beings should teach things. So I build everything off of that pedagogical foundation. So like for peptides, we have almost 30 hours of lectures on peptides inside of my engine. And on my YouTube channel, there's a bunch of videos. There's like hundreds of hours of videos for free for people as well. But if you want the detailed, the nitty gritty stuff, it's the OptiLive engine. There's nowhere else to go, bro. It's the real high level of detail. And we have a thyroid course there that's like 7 hours long, just covering the thyroid alone. A bioregulators course, which there's no one in the world who has a bioregulators course. We cover every single one of the 53 in detail, covering all of the papers that are relevant for us and all of this stuff. And for the new course that I am working, we have surveyed a total of, and let me put the actual number so I'm not bullshitting you. Thus far, I'm halfway through the course, okay? We have surveyed and actually gone over 719 papers. So it's really fucking in depth. Like if you want to learn shit to be able to actually have more tools in your toolbox and help more people and do a better job as a coach, dude, this is the spot. We got even pre-med and actual doctors inside of the engine learning from this course. Like I have met with several endocrinologists who want to learn about the thyroid. So it's just a great pleasure to be able to contribute to our space via the stuff that I actually find interesting, my special interest, my fucking little autism, just like sprinting to something. And being able to help people with that is really fucking cool, man.
That's cool. That's awesome, man. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. I know you're a busy guy. So you run the optimization lab, right? And so
Yeah.
you coach, you podcast. I know you. I think you focus on performance enhancement, peptides, nootropics, training, and recovery, which
Yep.
are all things those are all things that I'm into. Like this podcast, I used to interview rappers, business people,
Well, that's fucking dope, dude.
comedians. Right now, I think it's since I moved to Alabama, it's been a little bit harder to get a hold of people that I want to talk to. So I've been focusing on people that I see in the fitness industry, and I've just been focusing on fitness right now.
Yeah.
And so hopefully people like it. Hopefully people can learn real quick. Where are you from?
Why you ask?
You got a little bit of an accent. I now that I'm in Alabama, apparently I have an accent.
Yeah. No, but you're the way you talk is so fucking smooth. I envy the shit out of you. Like, dude, everyone who's got like 3% more melanin in their production, you just sound so much fucking better, man. I thought I can't emulate it, right? That would be fucking heretical, but I absolutely fucking love it. I love accents, right? I have a degree in linguistics as well. It's a background. I taught myself 9 languages,
Wow.
and I have published papers in linguistics as well. especially when it comes to linguistics, learning the natural pedagogy and the natural method pedagogy, and teaching people who are not neurotypical, so like ADHD, autism, because when you look at the majority of people, like we think that the majority of people learn how everything is taught. Everything is taught in the most boring fucking way possible. Like people just like, here's concept number 1, memorize it. Concept number 2, memorize it. If you remember them off the top of your head, you know this. If you don't remember off the top of the head, you don't know this. And it's just fucking ridiculous because brains don't work that way. When you divide people according to subgroup, you basically find that the majority of people are not neurotypical. They are neurodivergent in one way or another. So the way that I teach is through that. But to answer your question, because as you see, I weave through a lot of shit. I am from Brazil. There's a song coming out of here or something. There's an airplane or some shit. What is
Yeah, hold on. Give me a second.
I thought it was Jesus from the background there just fucking talking to me or something.
Here, give me a second. It's the neighbor. He's mowing his lawn.
LOL. It's totally fine. People can barely hear, bro.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're from Brazil.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna say one thing. This is the only thing I know how to say. Fala português.
Fala português, caralho. Nice, filha da... I'm gonna teach you a new one. Okay? Caralho.
Yeah. Caralho.
Caralho. It means a bunch of things, but it's kind of like an exclamation point. It's a curse word, but it's kind of like an exclamation point. Like, I love this, pra caralho. I want to do this, pra caralho. That shit was bad, pra caralho. Like that, it's a beautiful fucking word. I love cursing, bro. Okay. So when I was a kid, my parents actually took me to a therapist to get a diagnosis because my parents, dude, I was a child. Okay. They thought I had Tourette's because of how much I cuss. Now, dude, I grew up in a conservative household from conservative parents in a conservative evangelical Southern Baptist church. And I went to school at an evangelical Christian school. Like, I was so sheltered. So how the fuck does this kid curse so much? Like, where is he learning all of this shit? I don't fucking know where it comes from, but I love cursing, dude. I think cursing is like super fucking powerful. It's a very interesting tool, linguistically speaking. So I remember when I was doing my master's, I was reading this book which traces the history of cursing. Because like it's always related to like feces or genitalia or like stereotypes regarding gender roles and stuff like that. So it can tell you a lot about like where we are in a society by the way that people use curse words and stuff like that. Like right now, AI, like clanker, that's a new cursing term, right? Like it's not a good fucking word. It's a negative connotation. And that didn't exist like fucking 10 years ago because we didn't have this shit like popularized and stuff. So yeah, I curse a lot.
That's funny. Have you ever seen that famous I don't know if it's an Instagram video or TikTok video where he's like, "What's your favorite curse word?" Probably fuck. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
That's a good one. But that's cool, man. Yeah, I long time ago I fought in MMA, and so my goal and my dream was to go to Brazil to study jiu-jitsu in Brazil, and so I wanted to learn Portuguese. So I tried to use like I forget what app it was, but I didn't get very far. It was one of those apps,
dude.
But
dude, you wanna learn Portuguese? I can do something absolutely fucking crazy right now, and your mind's gonna be blown. Okay,
what is it?
The way that I taught, when I taught for the Roseburg Institute in the Hebrew University in Israel, I taught for them when I was doing my master's. I taught classical and modern Hebrew. So classical Hebrew is a dead language, right? So you can't really speak it. Problem is, you can. If you know the language well enough, you can fucking get it, right? So the people who really know this shit, which is less than 1% of the academics, which is less than 0.5% of the population, like I was the only person in the school who used to teach without translation. So I can teach you any fucking language without you knowing anything, without relying on translation ever. Why? Because translation is a skill. Every time you force someone to translate something, it just delays their learning. So the whole methodology of how we teach people is fucking backwards. So let me teach you some Portuguese, okay? Let me teach you some Portuguese real quick, okay?
Yeah.
Natan. Eu, Natan. Você, Dreh. Você, Dreh. Eu, Natan. Natan, nome. Meu nome é Natan. Seu nome é Dreh. Dreh, Qual é seu nome?
Dre. So
Dreh.
check this out. I literally understood everything you said. Now this one. I was raised speaking English. I'm fluent in Spanish, but in college in 2012, I took and passed with a B a course on Italian, so I know a little bit of Italian.
So it's too easy.
So some of it's the same.
Yeah,
I can tell.
Yeah.
I'm
it's
like,
too
oh,
easy.
okay, like
It's too
the
easy.
same, but it's different.
Let me make it harder. Let me teach you Hebrew. Okay, you don't know jack shit about Hebrew. Okay.
Okay.
Ani Natan. Ani Natan. Ata Dreh. Ata Dreh. Dreh. Maze. Zel lo Natan. Ani Natan. Ze Maze. Ze Shocher, okay? Ze mime. Ve hamaim be bakbuk. Ze bakbuk. Dreh, maze. Ze lo natan. Ze ze
Mime?
Hamaim bebakbuk. Mime et a ze. Ze mime. Ava, chine. Ze bakbuk.
Bakbuk.
Ken דיברת. מה זה? Bakbuk. Tov
That's
meod.
harder. That one's harder. That one's harder.
Ain't that fucking crazy though?
Like
crazy, you just learn how to communicate without using translation whatsoever. So this is the exact methodology that I apply to teach people about peptides, about supplements, about the thyroid and all of these things and steroids and everything, because we can teach people without having to teach them all of this fucking background academic scientific noise. We can just teach them how to think about these things, which is so much more useful. So yeah, I'm glad
cool.
you enjoyed that.
So just a quick question. So wait, what state are you in?
I'm in North Carolina, dog.
North Carolina, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. I think there's a decent sized Brazilian population in Alabama.
There probably is. In North Carolina, there's barely anything, dude. Now we're starting to see steakhouses, and there's like 3 steakhouses opening at the same time, which I love. I fucking love.
I love Brazil.
You want to know the crazy part is that steakhouses in Brazil, they are not expensive. Those are the food that like truck drivers like eat. It's the standard.
Crazy.
So like that type of shit every single day, that's kind of like the standard. It's normal. You go to a restaurant, it's a massive buffet with like 15 choices of carbs, all natural, 15 choices of salads, of vegetables, of like of meats, like multiple steaks. You get top noble, sirloin, ribeye, chicken heart, cheese, fucking fruit, like everything for like fucking $10, bro. That's just what people eat on a daily basis, which is one of the reasons why we don't fucking die of many diseases as Americans do. But anyway, that's a different comment.
I mean, that's in. I feel like that's in like every country, you know, especially like Italy, Russia, the UK. I will say this: eu gosto picanha.
Eu também gosto de picanha. Eu como picanha todo santo dia. Hoje, amanhã, depois, todo santo dia eu como picanha. Eu sempre estou comendo la picanha. La picanha me gusta mucho. Sí.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, so you also, I don't know if you know him actually like in person or just on social media, Instagram. I know we both follow and we both know DDT Method. Yeah,
dog, Drew Donaldson. Fucking love that guy. I was talking to him yesterday.
Yeah, he's super knowledgeable. Both you guys sound very knowledgeable. So before you were Optimal Nathan, how did you get into this?
Dog, okay, so this is a very long story. So I'm just going to refer people to the DDT Method podcast. Okay. If you watch my first interview with him, the one where I talk about growth hormone and T3, watch that one. It's a big case for T3, but the first 20 minutes, it's literally just me breaking down my history. But in short, I was actually a fucking drug addict stuck in rehab by the age of 14. I started doing drugs when I was 9 years old, bro. And in rehab, I befriended my psychiatrist, started optimizing my hormones, learning everything about all of this shit. I was totally got fucked by a doctor, got fucked by a coach that almost killed me. And that's when I realized I have to learn how to do this shit for my own, on myself. So I started doing that, started gaining some notoriety and some respect in different forms back in the day, GH15 and all this type of stuff. And then from that, like, I basically quit the optimization space entirely because I got really, really, really fascinated with the world of religion. And I got really deep in that for about 10 years. But because I love optimization so much and physiology, I continued studying this for 10 years. So when I came back, it kind of like looks like I came from absolutely fucking nowhere. But it's like, I've been studying this shit for like 10 to 15 years already. And then like, I just basically reach out to a couple of people and be like, hey, you guys are bothering me to help you with your hormones and shit. Sure, let's fucking do it. Let's see what I can do for you. And I did it. And that's how coaching started. And the more that I coached, the more that I realized that people are really fucking bad at coaching. So I started creating educational resources and stuff. And that's when I realized like, oh, I can have a bigger impact in the world by not just equipping my own clients, but I can equip other coaches to be better for their clients as well. I can equip people who cannot afford coaches to do this shit the right way and stuff. So that is what I focus on.
The that first master's degree you mentioned, is it educational psychology?
No. It's actually so okay. So the way that the master's is structured, this is a good question because people ask me a lot. It's actually a master's in ancient philology with an emphasis in teaching and learning methodologies and pedagogy. So the way that it is actually 2 degrees. One of them is a master's. The other one is basically the track of the master's. So my degrees come from Spain and from Italy. From Spain and from Israel for my master's degree. But it's 2 separate tracks. I did both of those tracks. And in both of those tracks, like, you have to do teaching hours and all this type of stuff. So it was fun, man. I actually came from the academic background because when I was in religion, I got really deep. Like, I started presenting papers for the American Academy of Religion, the Society of Biblical Literature. I even presented at the Evangelical Theological Society. I actually help translators of the Bible. I help create resources for translators. And I also basically transcribe. I dealt with the actual manuscripts. So the Bible is made it's basically like there is no text in the wild that exists just like the Bible. There's no such thing. The text of the Bible is literally a bunch of scholars who are trying to piece together what possibly could have meant, because we only have scraps of fragments of sentences, and we're like figuring out how to put it together. So I worked with these scraps and these like remaining pieces and stuff to basically like tell these scholars, hey, this is the actual Greek text. Like, it's not saying this, it's saying that like curvature of the line, or like the way that this guy writes, this transcriber writes fucking like a letter A or letter B, that can tell us about the milieu of the time and where they put the dot and all this stuff, and just give them all of the information so that then they are going to piece together the Greek text of the Bible, which is then going to be translated by organizations to create the English text of the Bible. And then that English text is going to be used by translators to translate into other languages in the missionary world. So I literally worked at the most foundational place where the Bible actually begins, which is fucking amazing. I love that field so fucking much. I have so many interests. It's very hard to like pin down one thing, you know?
So, so you believe in the Bible, you believe in...
That is a very big question that we do not have time to answer.
Okay, I just want to say something real quick.
To be very short, I have an academic, historical, and literary interest in the religion of Christianity, specifically in the post-Second Temple period, starting with the Maccabees Revolution, going all the way to the fall of the temple in 70 AD. That is a very narrow scope. I am not interested in theological claims a lot. I don't really care a lot about like who, like, so when I see that like Jesus died on the cross, my question is like, why did they write that story? My question is not like, what does that mean to my life? So like when you see, for instance, when you see Jesus writing on the sand, right? Okay, they wrote that story and everybody reads that as like, oh, Jesus is just like he wrote on the sand. That's just a detail. That's just distracting people. But like the real point of the story is that he did not condemn that woman, right? People forget that he also didn't do jack shit about the guy who is literally the fault. Like he's the culprit of the whole fucking thing. Like people conveniently ignore that. So that's already a question that I have. Was Jesus siding with the guy? Because he doesn't sound like he was super defending the woman either. So like what the fuck is going on? But then my question is like, why did they even tell a story where Jesus was writing in sand? Why didn't they just say that he was scribbling or that he was drawing? Why did they say that specifically? It's like, oh, fuck. They want to show that he has literary knowledge. He can do something that the vast majority of people at the time could not do, which is not only to read texts, but also to write them. So it's presenting Jesus as like, this is the background. Like, this guy is a teacher. He actually has knowledge of the manuscripts and the text and all of this type of stuff. So like, that's how I'm interested in these texts. I'm interested in like, how the fuck this even like came about? Like, who decided like all of these things, right? I'm not interested in what does this mean to my life and stuff. Yeah. When it comes to that, like I have no feelings whatsoever. Like I think that Christianity is a very plausible explanation for the world around us. But I also think it's very, though it is probably, in my opinion, the most developed one down to a level of detail, I still think that it oversimplifies a whole lot of what we call the human experience.
I'll just say this because I was in church the other day and I just had this weird little thing. Now here's my view. I'll just say this. This is something I've been wanting to talk about. If it's all fake, if there is no God, right? But through religion, some of us live better lives. At the end of the day, if I die like that, cool. I'd rather it be that way than me be in prison for life for killing somebody because I have no morals, no values.
Yeah, but those are not the only two options, dog.
Right. No, I know. Right. But also, I'll just say this. My experience in my church, which I won't specifically mention, it has changed my life, changed my family, it changed me for the better. My whole experience.
Yeah.
It's so I just had this weird like thought the other day. I was like, what if there is a God, which I do believe there is, what if, you know, because all the churches argue about what church is true, right? I said, what if they all started as the original churches based on the region that they're in? Yes. And they were all placed wherever they are, because at that moment, at that time, that culture would only believe this story and this story and this story. And then as time went on, we changed it to, you know, we changed every story.
It was always changed. Okay, so this is just a big point here. When religion was developed, no one ever created a religion like Christianity. If you think about how was Christianity formed, no one has the fucking answer to that. The most plausible answer is that Paul is the inventor of Christianity, but that happened by mistake because Paul was a fucking Jew. He was not Christian. He was not Gentile. He never abandoned Judaism. Jesus never abandoned Judaism. So how the fuck did it branch off into a completely different fucking religion, right? It's that the fact that things are always developing. So Christianity really is an off-growing branch out of Judaism itself, out of one vertent of Judaism. Just like the Nag Hammadi manuscripts and the Gnostics, they are one way of looking into the Jesus stories at the time and presenting their own coherent presentation of what that looks like and what it means to us. So religions, they're always developing. There was never a point in which like, oh, human beings started changing the Bible. Motherfucker, the Bible has been changed since the moment that it was written. You literally cannot find a single manuscript that says the same thing. We have more errors in the Bible than we have words in the Bible. Like, are those errors significant? That's a separate fucking conversation. That's like if I say Jesus hopped on the horse versus Jesus hopped in the horse. It's a mistake, right? But it's like, you fucking get it, right? It's not saying that he basically kicked the horse in the nuts. Like, are there differences in the Gospels? Yes, they're brutal Jesus literally dies in different days of the week. He has no father in one fucking gospel. He literally doesn't come back from the dead in one gospel. Like, it's so fucked up, but at the same time, it's still Jesus. Like, he's not Ronald McDonald and then a fucking transformer and a Ferrari. Like, that doesn't fucking exist. So I think it's still it's just a useful way to think about it, that we're not looking at something that was like, let the council create the religion of Christianity. And in the beginning, this is the thing that people fuck up the most, because they read Acts 1 and 2 and they think that this is how things worked, when it was a very regional and contained expression of the Holy Spirit due to the ascension of Jesus, which is the vision that Daniel has in Daniel chapter 7. It's the Daniel chapter 7, the coming of the Son of God. People fuck this up so goddamn much. Please read N.T. Wright, if nothing else in your life, okay? The coming of the Son, which in the Gospel of Mark, Jesus doesn't even know when the Son is coming back, so it's a separate person. But in the Gospel of Matthew, Luke, the coming of the Son is literally the vision of Daniel 7. And the vision of Daniel 7 is literally expressed from the perspective of the sky. So the coming of the Son of God already fucking happened. It's when Jesus ascended into the heavens. The return of the king already happens. He is now enthroned into the heavenly realms, right? This is the like a more like a cohesive understanding with the literature that we actually have. I can talk about this shit all fucking day, dog. I don't want to bore you.
No, you're good. That's dope. That's cool. I really like that. So I really appreciate that conversation. I like that. Let's go back. So wait, are you okay now? Specifically, personally, are you a bodybuilder or have you ever been a bodybuilder?
So I live like a bodybuilder, but I have never competed. My goal is to, so I repeat a mantra because I believe every action is coming out of your identity. So your identity needs to be solidified in place and you need to know who you want to become so that every daily action can be measured against that and you can be 1% better day by day. So for me, I am a heavyweight competitive bodybuilder. Okay. So am I that heavy? No. Am I that big? No. But that's what I live like. So I'm eating all the fucking time. I just finished a meal here. I have another meal as soon as we're done. I try to prioritize my recovery. I train hard as a motherfucker. I literally cried yesterday during my workout because I just broke down, bro. It was an arms day. So I like pushing things a little bit. It wasn't a leg day at all. I have a bodybuilding coach, literally someone who has built fucking monsters, literally built some of the biggest Olympians that we've had. Like it's him. I decided to move that route because I want to live like that person more and more. So bodybuilding really is my passion. It's something that I owe to myself to do. I want to be as fucking big and as fucking peeled as I possibly can. I'm going to not be doing this for the rest of my life. So I set up a deadline of at least 10 years. I'm going to do this no matter what. If I lose a limb, if my hormones get fucked, if I get liver failure, I'm doing this for 10 fucking years. Okay. No matter what. 15 years is my max. So at the age of 45, I'm retired. So I want to get to that day and say, fuck, I did everything that I possibly could to build the most like presentable physique ever. The way that I think about it is actually I'm building a cathedral. It's something that is going to fade away. It's going to lose its form, but it's not wasted because it's a presentation of something that points to something external to me. It points to something that can help people and help people introspect about their own human experience and grow out of that. That's how I see bodybuilding.
That's dope, man. Yeah, I might not eat as much as I should, but I think I would. Being a bodybuilder is probably what I can relate to right now more than anything.
Yeah.
I'm more of I think my friend Edgar would call me just like a like an athlete.
Yeah.
But at this point, I do run, but like my passion is.
How many calories do you eat a day?
How many what?
How many calories do you eat a day?
My maintenance right now is about 32 to 3,500.
Okay, so let's call it 3,300. So you said you don't eat enough, okay? If you miss one meal a week, just one 500 calorie meal, very, very little, that's not a lot, right? Over the course of a year, you left 26,000 calories on the table, which for you in particularly means that you left 8 weeks of gains on the table by skipping just one fucking meal. So please fix that as fast as possible. For me, I had to do the opposite calculation. I had to realize like, how much fat will I gain if I keep eating over my plan like I normally do? And guess what? It was between 10 on a conservative to 30 pounds over the course of a year of unnecessary fat accrued on the other end. So that's I have a history of binge eating. I help clients with that a lot. It's a big thing in my family, anorexia, bulimia, all of this stuff. So it's very close to my heart. And I just, I fight that shit with everything I got. Every single fucking day is a struggle. Every single fucking day. Yeah.
I have a problem with binge eating right before bed.
Same.
Right before bed. Or if I can't sleep, most
people do because it's their willpower and it's the fastest coping mechanism we've got,
Yeah. It's gotten so much better, and now I just default to like maybe peanut butter and milk. You know what I mean? It used to be cookies and chips and sugary shit, but now if I could just focus, like if I do, I'll have like 2 spoons of peanut butter and half a glass of milk, and that's it. So I've gotten better. And then I will say, earlier you mentioned the, autism. You mentioned neurotypical. That whole like neurodivergent, neurotypical thing is like new for me in the space. In that whole space, I started learning about it or hearing about it. I've had ADHD since I was a kid, but I've been telling people this whole time I have ADD. I didn't even know that they branched out to just ADHD. I didn't know that. Yeah, which is weird because I'm like, I'm not hyperactive. I just can't pay attention. You know what I mean? Like, and you know what I will say, in the gym fitness industry in that space, having ADD, even being medicated is hard.
Dude,
Working
in
out
every area
and
of life, like,
it's
dude,
so
people
hard.
people talk about dude, if there's one thing that pisses me the fuck off, and there's several, but this one, dude, is people who say ADHD is a superpower. It's not a disease.
Joe
Fuck you,
Rogan.
motherfucker. Fuck you, dude. How many fucking times have you gotten overstimulated because of fucking lights and you couldn't pay attention because there were 3 people talking and you couldn't even make your brain shut off that fucking noise? How many times did you have a fucking deadline and you're like, oh, I always like show up whenever it's like really close to it, but then a couple of times it didn't fucking work, and then that wrecked your career, that wrecked your studies, that wrecked the rest of your fucking life. Like, how many fucking times were you, dude, having fucking sex and you just lose focus and you can't
Yeah.
fucking perform?
Yeah.
How many times you're at the gym, you're fucking pushing, you get to rep 6 out of 12, and guess what? You're thinking about emails and random fucking shit, and then you always leave reps in the tank. Don't fucking tell me ADHD is a goddamn superpower, because it fucking isn't, man. It is a disability. And if you don't experience the disability, guess what? You don't fucking have ADHD. You just don't pay attention to shit at all times. You know, it's just like you probably need to. If I get rid of all like stimulation, if I get rid of notifications on my phone, everything is in gray screen, like grayscale. I don't let people interrupt me. I'm like have like binaural beats to like get my flow going. I have all this, the peptides and all this type of stuff. It will still be hard as a motherfucker for me to fucking work, dude. And people are always asking me, how do you produce so much? How do you do so much? Because my work ethic is out of this fucking world. But if it wasn't for that, and I developed that, dude, with tooth and fucking nails, because like when I was in college, I wasn't medicated at that time, dude. I only became medicated as later on. Dude, I remember I developed IBS. Also, I had hair loss and I had prostate issues, dude, all coming from stress. Like, dude, I would just like fucking wash my hair. I was 20 years old. I would wash my hair and like tons of hair would come out, all because of stress, because of how much it took me to do that. Like, you know, it's so much willpower. People think they're like, oh, you're autistic, but you can talk to people, so you're not that autistic. Yeah, bro, I fucking learned how to talk to people. How many times did I look myself in the mirror to learn facial expressions and shit like that? Like, you don't know that. You haven't seen that. It's like, oh, you have ADHD, but you can produce so much, so you're obviously not struggling with that. Bro, you don't fucking know my struggles. You don't know my process of all of this shit. Like, it's just, I feel like people are just way too fucking quickly to talk about disabilities as if they're a good thing, when in reality, they're fucking disabilities, dog, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have become a drug addict had I been diagnosed and actually treated as a child for both autism and ADHD. Because literally what I learned as an adult is that everything that I was trying to do with drugs was just quiet the noise of living in a way that doesn't, like, the society's way of living, the standard, the normal, the acceptable way is not the way that my brain is wired. So trying to fit in that takes so much work. It's so exhausting and it's so fucking loud in your head that I just had to find something to tone that down. And drugs were the only thing. It was literally the hit. And it's like, you're calm. You know, like, now I know that. So now I know how to emulate that. And I'm not scared of drugs anymore. I was terrified of drugs. Literally, I've had instances that people mentioned the word drugs and I literally threw up because I was traumatized by my own experience of drug use. Now I can fucking joke about it. I can talk about it. I can fucking see you doing it and I don't give a shit. Why? Because, like, I am finally made whole by, like, properly treating me as an autistic and ADHD person, which is, like, how my brain actually works, you know?
That's dope, man. That's dope. Yeah, I'm actually clean and sober myself, so I've been through it. I know how it, man. Believe me, I know.
How long have you done?
I've had a few slip ups, so since last November, so I'm at like 7 months right now.
Let's go,
but
bro.
Over the course of like the last 10 years, for the most part, I've been clean and sober. I've had little relapses here and there, but for the most part, I've definitely been sober longer than those little lapses. So my life is amazing right now because of it. I feel great. I feel amazing. Life is good. And let's see, there was something else I wanted to ask you. So yeah, so one of my ticks, I love Joe Rogan's podcast, but like when he talks about, he's the one who says, oh, ADHD is a superpower. I'm like, Joe,
fuck him.
ADHD made me drop out of college, brother. Like it's not as
ADHD is something that you see in the data. You see it being the thing that people who wreck their cars more often, ADHD. People who gamble more often, ADHD. People who do drugs more often, ADHD. It's very, very clear in the research.
yeah,
And
yeah,
ADHD is one of the most manageable conditions in the whole psychiatry toolkit. How? Fucking methamphetamines, but people shit on methamphetamines as if they weren't good. Motherfucker, I'm popping them because I need my brain to actually fucking work, because otherwise I can't do shit. I'm literally just laying in bed like fucking like if I don't have my shit on me, because my brain doesn't have the same levels of like dopamine and serotonin and epinephrine and norepinephrine as you do, you know? So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that people be like, "Oh, we don't know if it's real," but I've had a doctor tell me it's genetic, and I probably got it from one of my parents.
Yeah, and
So
it's
I'm like,
not real. There's literally no one in the academic world. There's no scholar who says it's not real. Anyone who says, "Oh, I don't think it's real," you're literally a fucking idiot, because no one with
yeah,
half a brain cell who's read more than half a paper agrees with you. So I would
yeah,
think that maybe that's an indication that you're out of touch with reality here.
yeah, for sure. Um, so I wanted to ask, was there a moment when you realized that most of the fitness advice online was bullshit?
Yes, all the time. I do that repeatedly. Literally yesterday, I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about the thyroid and how important it is liver, because the majority of the conversion happens in the liver. So we have to support the liver with all this stuff. And I'm like, that's not fucking true. That's demonstrably false. That's mattered like a fact, like proven false several times over the course of the last few decades. Like we know that the majority of production of thyroid actually happens in the tissues. It doesn't happen in the fucking gland. And it definitely doesn't happen in the liver, because the liver is responsible for filtration. So it expresses DI1 enzymes, not DIO2 enzymes, which are the ones that actually build the T3 to be used for the cell inside of the tissue. So yeah, like I see this type of shit all the time. I see people talking about seed oil. I see people talking about fucking keto diets and carnivore, and like when it comes to coaching, just like, oh, you crashed, you dieted, you did post show. Let's just like fix your metabolism. Let's just bring your calories up, help you gain some fat, and then things are gonna be fixed. Look in the research, doesn't fucking happen. Look at your clients, doesn't fucking happen. Like I'm telling you, like there's so much bad stuff, which is why I spend so much time in research, doing a single course on a single fucking organ with over 700 papers, so that you like people can actually see and understand like how this shit actually works. Because once you understand how it works, fixing complex problems is super fucking easy. I love fixing complex problems. I love reversing Hashimoto's, dude. That's fucking fun as shit. I love dealing with people with like thyrotoxicosis and all of these problems. Like, why? Because they're fun to fix. Because you have to understand the system very, very deeply to be able to do that. I'm now actually working with a few people on a cohort to reverse IBS, because I reversed my own. Like that is fucking fun, but you can only do that if you understand this shit at a deeper level. And the way that people talk about it and coaches and shit, it's not at a deep level at all. People don't know. Like Mike White calls them chicken and rice coaches, which is true. Like the only thing you know how to do is manipulate someone's diet and give them a fucking training cheat sheet. Like that's it, bro. Like that's fucking garbage. That's a terrible experience for people as a client, and you shouldn't be charging people for that level of fucking shit, bro.
Yeah,
ChatGPT can do that for you. Just fuck that.
that's really true. So before it was popular, because I know it's kind of popular now, but before it was popular, what made you willing to openly talk about PEDs and enhancements before everybody started doing it?
I just love this shit, and I just talk about the shit that I like.
You're like, fuck it on.
Yeah,
All right.
I have no filter, as you noticed.
Okay. And for anybody that tunes in at some point when I post this and all that, who's your audience? Is it like the guy that's chasing aesthetics, or is it like the serious bodybuilder athlete?
Yes.
Or is it both?
Yes, yeah. It's and not just them. Like I said, I get a bunch of moms who have issues with Hashimoto's. I get a bunch of dads who have issues with depression and addiction. I get a bunch of professional athletes who are in the performance world, and we do a lot of like agility, mobility, skill-based work and all of this type of stuff. I have a lot of clients that we do with mindset. I have a lot of clients, like I have a 90-day protocol for that. I have a lot of clients who just they want to do hard drugs but don't want to die. I build them protocols for that. I monitor their health. I have clients who have like 5 different coaches and like they have a full team like managing their health. And I'm like the architect who's overseeing the entire process. I have athletes that like clients that were optimizing some specific complex inside of the electron transport chain. I have clients that were reversing lung issues from people who are chronic smokers. Like my audience is anyone who has a problem. And like when you see me talking about it, you're like, what the fuck? That's me. And I literally never heard anyone talk about that shit. So like you're going to notice that a lot. Like there's a lot of like the posts that I make, and I post like several times a day. Like it's a lot of shit that you're like, huh, I never thought about that. I'm like, yeah, dog, like that. I see a lot of people like you. Like, let me talk to you. Like, let's actually address this shit right here. So yeah, it's anyone who wants to optimize the human experience as a whole, not just to have a six pack and and just get some chicks and stuff. Sure, let's fucking do that. Life is fun. Have it on, But at the same time, that's way too narrow. It's way too shallow. It doesn't interest me in the slightest. We need to have a big why. We need to have a driver behind all of this stuff.
Yeah, that's so true. And, I really like right now we're in a place in the world where, like, at least in the country, where, people, it's becoming popular to be healthy, sort of. And people really want to start taking peptides. It's like a huge conversation. And people are, like me, like, if I can, I'm kind of similar to you where, like, I'm like, okay, the next 10, 15 years, I can probably use that time to get super jacked. But after that, I still want to work out. Like, I want to be able to fucking do one pull up at the age of 85 if possible.
Dude,
And how
yeah,
am I
like
going to do that?
I have one client, Chong, shout out Chong. Like, he has a bodybuilding coach, and the bodybuilding coach is taking care of his cycle and all this stuff. I'm taking care of the longevity side of things and the preservation of his health. So like, we basically like have a group where we like go back and forth on some ideas, and I make some suggestions like, let's put Anavar, and I'm like, no, he has cardiac risk. Let's actually put Primo in place. And it's like, oh, let's put BPC 157. Like, let's do that, but let's also add some Cardilax and some courses of I don't know, like PSA or something. Like, let's just think outside the box here to support long term. The coach wants to see a liver test. I want to see a mitochondria efficiency test. The coach wants to see fucking kidney results. I want to support the kidney with like peptides and stuff like that for regeneration, which is something that according to the science we cannot do. But as a coach, I see we doing it all the fucking time. So it's a very interesting work environment for the people who are more advanced into this space. Yeah, and everything that I do is framed into a coaching mentorship. So I'm not the coach who sends you a PDF and then tells you good luck. We'll talk again in 2 weeks. Like, I talk to my clients every single week. Every single fucking week I talk to them, not just on check-ins. Like, we actually talk every single week, every single month. We have a big meeting. We have like a graduation programs and all this stuff. I do a lot of work on like mindset and stuff for them as well. And through all of it, we are always explaining everything. So that, like, the goal is to get you to do this shit on your own eventually. So if you want to learn and also optimize, this is the space to go, because you get someone on your side helping you with everything, like helping people with social media. I literally 10x my social media in 2 months. Like, it's something that I'm able to help people now. So the way that I frame it is a coaching mentorship. It is never just a fucking program like everybody else. I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah, I hear you. I had a quick question. Let's see. Tell me more about. Before I ask the question, I just recently had an ultrasound on my liver and gallbladder. They came back good. I can't remember. Oh, my liver enzymes were high, so the doctor had me. They've gone down.
Did you train? Did you train like the day before and stuff?
Always, yeah. And I tried. Yeah.
What is
well?
that?
Also,
is it like over 80, over 100, over 200? Like, how bad is it?
I don't remember. I would have to check. But also, after taking like some, I don't know if this was coincidental or if it actually worked, but for like a month for like 2 months, I took a liver cleanse pill and NAD, and she said the numbers dramatically dropped. And I usually go in after I work out because I work out in the morning and my things are in the morning. But I think one of the time, actually no, this last time when it went down, I didn't train that morning. I specifically fasted and I went in.
And your numbers went down, so that's why your numbers went down. So don't. The Broderick Chavez, he basically says like, hey, LTST, that's the price of admission of going enhanced. So don't really worry about it. I don't really sweat about it. I want to see GGT, right? I want to see cystatin C. I want to see a CRP. I want to see those numbers, not just fucking AST and AFT. I normally don't even fucking look at them, to be honest.
Before I ask you this next question, I'll just say, I don't know how true this is, but I've seen a lot of guys on the internet say, once you inject testosterone, you'll never produce testosterone on your own again. Have you ever heard that?
Yes, I've heard that. That's retarded.
What do you think about that?
It's retarded.
Okay, so I was through TRT, through TRT prescribed, for like the last like 2-3 years, I was injecting and then when I wouldn't inject, my numbers would crash. Right. Well, I I uh I started taking enclomiphene, and then I took both for like 2 months, and then I got off. I stopped injecting completely, and I've been able to maintain just with one enclomiphene a day. I've been able to maintain like 1,000. I've been able
No,
to maintain.
that happens to everyone. So, like theoretically speaking, the idea that it shuts down your axis for life and you won't recover is based off the fact that for certain people in some studies, that they did not measure their levels before. Sometimes it shows that their levels are a little bit on the lower part of the range. So we're assuming that it decreased. For certain study, we measured before and after at a certain period, and it will show as suppressed because it will stay suppressed for about a year.
Yeah,
Other
yeah,
systems don't work in the same way. Like the people are scared about the thyroid, that if you go on T3, it's going to fuck up your thyroid for the rest of your life. Literally, the recovery time is like 2 weeks. 5 weeks max if you're really fucked and you use it for a high dose for like a ton of like over 10 years. Okay. What about growth hormone? It also like interacts with your axis, but it literally comes off in like 24 hours. Like 24 hours, your axis is back. So it's just a different timeline, but it's the same system.
yeah. I hear you. Yeah, that's dope. Um, so you've said that steroids won't save a shitty lifestyle, which they really won't. And I think it's funny because people demonize them, and they make it seem like, oh, if you take steroids, you'll fucking become Superman. Like, no, that's not even
No,
that's not the case. You know what I
remote.
mean? Like, so walk me through what foundations actually means to you.
Holy shit, dog. Okay, I'm gonna refer people again. Okay, so
All right,
to
all right.
there is a series, there's a playlist on my YouTube channel, Optimal Nathan, that's called "Should You Do Steroids?" Before you decide to hop on, go watch that series. Okay, it covers all of the stuff that you need to have in place, from the
Okay.
identity piece to the financial piece to the health piece, the self awareness, the basics of like sleep and recovery and all this type of stuff. Like all of those things, they're covered in there. But in general, you want to be a pretty self-aware person. You need to recognize your own limitations. If you don't have an extensive knowledge of physiology, don't do this shit yourself. Do it with a coach, because you will break yourself. It happens to absolutely fucking everyone. You should not have a shitty experience with PDs at all. It should always feel fucking great. And if it doesn't always feel fucking great, someone fucked up the chain.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Um, what's like a common thing that people think that? What do you think a common? Do you see this like in the space where like people think they need a supplement or a drug, but what they really need is sleep and nutrition?
All the fucking time. Most of the time, actually. Yeah. I
Yeah.
I have a lot of clients who are not on peptides at all, and I have clients who are like on 5 supplements and that's it. Like it really depends. Like it depends on the person and their level of commitment and stuff. I have people who are like they have like 40 compounds layered in a very different way, in very particular way, like counting supplements and everything. Like, and I have clients that are just like 2 or 3. Like it just depends on the person specifically and stuff and what we're dealing with. But in general, the foundation is always going to be more important. Like the first thing that I get people to do as soon as you sign up to work with me, we're going to be very aggressive working with your parasympathetic system, very aggressive with power and energy production, and extremely intentional about development of your identity and your mindset. So those are the most important things to get it off the gate. And then like after that, everything comes like in progression of that. But everything else is secondary.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned like, well, I mean, I mentioned the nutrition and sleep when we first got here to Alabama. When we first got here to Alabama, like the biggest way. It's funny because I talk about tests and I talk about enclomiphene, but the biggest way, I'm assuming, and I'm pretty sure that my my numbers increased, like my test numbers increased when I was in California before I moved here. I was I was sleeping at like midnight, 1 in the morning, waking up at 6, working out, working 12-hour days. Now that I'm here, I sleep on average 7 to 8 hours, and so my sleep increased at least 10 to 15 hours a week, to where I was losing 15 hours of sleep every week in California,
Yeah,
right?
that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean,
Sleep is a PED, bro. Sleep is a PED.
yeah.
Like literally, there's no steroid that can keep up with the lack of sleep. Maybe trenbolone. Maybe there's an argument to be made about trenbolone. No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
Yeah,
Listen to fuck, I forgot his name, but he was basically telling like when he did a prep focusing on sleep, and then he did a prep just hammering tren. He looked better
yeah.
just hammering tren. So like
Yeah.
there are some specific cases where sometimes you have to sacrifice a little bit of that, but those are rare instances and there was like a one-off. The problem is everybody thinks that they're the exception. You're not the fucking exception. You are the
Yeah.
rule. For you, sleep is going to be the biggest lever.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. My life has definitely improved since my sleep has improved. And it's funny because I have a hard time sleeping. I have to take something to sleep. But I noticed recently within like the last 2 weeks, I don't know what I changed, but my sleep is just I'm like sleeping more through the night. My fucking like I don't know, something changed, and I feel I'm sleeping better, and it's really good. I love it. What do you think? I want to ask. What do you think about? So 2 months ago, I took a nasal spray blend of Samax, and last month I took a nasal spray blend of Selenk. What do you think about those products on the internet and the nasal sprays specifically?
They're great. And the nasal sprays are arguably better than injectable for those because they
Okay.
cross the blood brain barrier. There's literally a nerve that goes from your brain. There's a path that goes from your nose all the way to your brain. So it's very direct. That's why the effect is very immediate. The problem is people don't know how to fucking use it on their nose. Okay. So I'm going to teach people how to do that right now. But basically, whenever you're putting the little the spray, you don't want to shove it in this way because this makes it go back into your throat, which will not absorb. You want to shove it against the wall so that it literally travels up in this way. Okay, that's how you actually properly use that.
Okay.
Samax is very. They're both compounds coming out of Russia. Russia is very much in advance ahead of us when it comes to these compounds. Like all the bioregulators from the Cavinsons group comes from Russia, right? Even the ones that have like achieved pharmaceutical status and all this stuff, and the ones that are in clinical use. So Samax and Selenk, they're both used for like TBI, brain injury, stroke, and all of this type of stuff. But it does seem to like drive a little bit of focus, right? And then also they're super useful because they drive up BDNF, so brain derived neurotropic factor. So that's going to allow you to wire new connections in your brain. The problem is that people use these things without being mindful of their lives. So they're literally ruining their lives. You got to understand that every action that you make comes out of your identity, and every part of your identity is built through habits and repetition. So every single thing that you do on a daily basis is literally think about every action that you do, like the binge eating, the masturbating, the scrolling endlessly, all of this stuff. Those are literally pathways in your brain. Those are physical wired connections. Okay. This is not me bullshitting. There's actual synapses there. Okay. Whenever you're trying to do a different thing, you're trying to stop binging, you're trying to do something else and like start going to the gym and stuff, it feels super fucking hard. It feels forced. It feels unnatural. It feels impossible. Why? Because you don't have those connections. So you are literally building those connections. What does Samax and Selenk do? Samax and Selenk build new connections. So imagine what happens if you continue practicing your bad habits. You're going to strengthen those connections more and more and more and more. So when you're making use of nootropics, you have to be extremely mindful of your habits and the identity that you're building because you could literally be making your life harder long term.
Yeah, I hear you. And that's interesting because over the last I don't know, like 6 months since we got actually since last year, maybe around December, yeah, I've had various multiple bad habits that I've been working on. I've gotten rid of a few of them, and then they'll come back maybe for like a week, and then I'm like, no, 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 fuck this, stop this shit, and like even just like cracking my fingers, it's not necessarily bad, but it's really annoying. I do it while I drive because I drive for Uber and Lyft, and so I get anxious while I drive, and I start cracking them, and then my hands hurt.
Yeah.
And like I've had to stop cracking. I've had to consciously stop cracking them like 2 times. This is the second time I've completely stopped again. I don't think about it. I don't worry about it. They sometimes my fingers get this feeling like they want to be cracked, but I know it's just a mental thing. And so like I'm not taking the Samax and Selenk right now, but I start college again next month, so I am gonna get Samax again, and I'm gonna be working on like making sure that I'm doing the right things, focused on the right things, practicing the right habits, because you're right. I say the more in the past, the more I would focus on something bad, the more I start doing it, and then next thing I know, it's a fucking bad habit. I'm like, what? Like the snacking, like the snacking. Like for the most part, I don't snack at all anymore at night. Occasionally, I'll be like, let me get some peanut butter. But it's so I was snacking so much last year, and at night, and I'm talking fast food, cookies, chips. That right now, my A1C has been high. So you know, me and my
Oh, I get
doctor
it.
are
I get
working
it,
on
bro.
that.
I gained 20 pounds
Yeah.
in 3 weeks
Sh- What?
just from overeating at night. Yeah. Which is why I'm like, I need to hire someone to fucking help me. Yeah, no,
You need a
you gotta stop being arrogant. Even as a coach, you gotta stop being arrogant and be like, I
yeah
can't do this shit on my own. You cannot do anything on your own. We think in silos because we are part of this Americanized culture where we pull ourselves by our bootstraps. But the more and more news comes out, the more we see that's actually fucking bullshit. The game is rigged from the beginning. There's no such thing as pulling yourself from your fucking bootstraps. If you're in an underprivileged position, good fucking luck. Like I didn't come out of South America and become successful in the US out of nowhere. That was fucking 10 years in the making, right? Like that was a really
yeah
long fucking time. So
yeah
don't just keep that in mind, so to speak. You know?
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly because you know, I'm not some huge successful guy right now, but in the
No,
terms
no,
of
no, no,
life,
no. Fuck that. Fuck
yeah,
that. You are that
yeah.
guy. You are that guy.
So also, I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually a traumatic brain injury survivor. I had to relearn how to walk and talk in 2000 at the end of 2012. I'm talking. I don't have full use of the left side of my body. I have something called hemiparesis. So like the whole left side is weaker than the right, but for the most part, you cannot tell. Sometimes, like on certain lifts, you can see it a little bit, but I in a successful space, I've overcome all the odds. The doctor said I wouldn't be able to do certain things. I'm like, fuck you, I'm gonna do them,
Let's
and
go.
here
I
I
love
am
it. I
doing
love
them.
it.
You know what I mean?
Amazing. No,
So,
I love it, dude. I have a genetic variation that I actually have less muscle fibers on the left side of my body.
oh shit, okay,
So I have
okay,
huge imbalance. Like for chest, for 2 years to bring my chest up, I had to just train the left side of my chest.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I hear you. I've had to do stuff like that too in recovery from the TBI. I
that's
know
amazing.
how that is. Yeah, life's crazy. Let's see, what time is it? Okay. Let's talk about GLPs real quick.
Okay.
um, so they're everywhere right now, right? So
Yeah.
what's the biggest? And I think I already know the answer to this question. What's the biggest misconception people have about GLPs?
Well, fuck me. Okay, I'm terrible at answering this type of. Whenever you ask me for my favorite or the biggest or the number one, I always blank. I never know the answer. Like you can even ask me about the thyroid. What's the most important thing for the thyroid? I don't fucking know the answer. It's too hard to answer like a single thing. So I'm going to answer a little bit differently. How do people
Okay.
approach? How do people approach GLP-1s? So they approach it the same way that they've approached every other fat loss tool in history. Like we always approach it as a quick fix. Let's just pull me out of this hole and let me get me to look good because this is what I want to feel like. And then you crash diet, and then you come off of the GLP, you regain all of your weight, you feel like a piece of shit, and then you decide you're going to stay on forever, and you get all of the problems like bone mineralization loss, bone density loss, poor libido, poor nutrient absorption, gastroparesis, and potentially like more issues down the road as well. Glaucoma, eye issues, and all of these types of things, loss of strength, loss of function, early decline, cognitive decline, like all of these fucking problems because people approach these tools wrongly. Now, do I like these tools? I fucking love these tools. I've used like a lot of them. I used every single one of them with my clients. I haven't personally used every single one of them, but I've used pretty much every GLP with the client. I use them in growth phases. I use them in fat loss phases. I use them with binge eating disorders. I use them with addiction. So I think they're fantastic tools. It's just that, like I said, people don't understand them. So people just want a fucking free cheat that just tells them the dose to do it and how to do it. That's all they want to do. But you're playing with your own physiology. You lost all of the privileges of just being a dumbass whenever you decide to inject your body with some shit. Now you need to be a fucking expert in both how your body acts, how the drug acts, and how the two interacts. You need physiology, pharmacology, pharmacokinetics, and pharmacodynamics at a bare fucking minimum. And then from that point on, you can start leveraging these tools for their capacities.
Wow, that's a lot, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't do that, right?
Most people don't because they assume that it's simple. Inject, get the result. But the body doesn't work as a fucking mathematical equation, which is why calories in, calories out is straight up fucking bullshit. It doesn't work. It is the laws of thermodynamics. You cannot violate the second law of thermodynamics. I totally understand that I'm not retarded. I mean, I am, but I'm not stupid. The I'm not saying you need to become a world-leading expert on the tool to be able to use it. Like, you don't need to know the history of how a hammer was made in order to use a hammer properly. But the thing is, like, you could actually hurt your fingers if you just don't even know how to place a nail and how to hold a nail with your fingers. So you got to know at least the fucking basics here, you know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Would who should not be using GLPs?
It's a very difficult question to answer because I've used them with so many different types of clients. The thing, I don't think the problem is who. I think the problem is with who and how. So, like, if you are someone who's not very self-aware, you're not aware of the drug, you're not aware of like how these things actually work, and you decide to do this shit on your own, you should not do that. Please, for the love of God, even hiring a clinic is better, and you guys already know my opinions about fucking clinics. Like, that's even going to be better. Some guidance is better than no guidance whatsoever. Now, there are some people that sometimes is not the right time. Like, so you would think that every time I have an eating disorder case, we always have GLP-1s in place. That is not actually the case at all. That is not true. We leverage these tools for particular tasks, not for just a particular goal. So, like, when we think fat loss, we don't immediately think GLP-1. We think caloric deficit first. We think energy conservation first. We think mitochondrial efficiency. Why? Because we need the thyroid. Thyroid downregulates as soon as leptin levels drop. Okay, that happens within 24 hours of either a fast or within just the first 36 hours of a regular diet. Carbohydrates is what's going to enhance that conversion. So we got to be very smart with how we lay calories and all this type of shit. And just from this basic point that I just gave you, this 5-second run into the human physiology, you already know that when you're doing a GLP-1, you should be managing your nutrition a little bit more strategically. So the more you know, the more you're going to deprive yourself of the negative effects that these drugs can actually have in your experience of the human life.
Okay, I like that. When hopefully this question is a little, it's funny because sometimes for certain episodes I feel like I'm super underprepared. So for this one I came prepared.
Fuck yeah.
It's funny because some of them you're like, oh, that's a big question, that's a long answer.
No, but I like it. I can do long answers too. I can
I feel like this is a testament to the fact that it's better to be prepared the way I am than it is to be underprepared.
Always. So every time I do a podcast, I have at least 50 questions for you written down. At least 50. In organized by topic, so that whatever the conversation is going, we can continue moving in that direction. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. So when you do have a client, right? I know everybody's different, but is there, say you send one of your clients to do blood work, what's the first biomarker you're looking at?
None. I don't think you should approach blood work that way.
Okay.
If you do it, you're looking for a verdict, and a piece of paper cannot give you a verdict from the standpoint that that's just a snapshot in time and you need a live readout of what's happening. So just think about, for instance, TSH, right? You're familiar with TSH?
Yes.
Okay, so TSH, for the people who don't know, it's a sign in your pituitary after it has received TRH and it went to a translation step from the hypothalamus. The TSH is then going to travel down to the thyroid to tell the thyroid to produce T4 and a very small amount of T3, which is going to be liberated into the blood, mostly trapped by TBG, thyroglobulin, and albumin, and then it's going to travel down into the tissues to be able to be converted locally in the mitochondria for the production of ATP and energy, as well as like a redox balance and all these types of things. So it's literally the master metabolic switch of your entire body. The problem is the when you think about TSH, so you read TSH, if you see that TSH is low, you know that we need we need to crank the production of thyroid down, because it's literally reading that there's too much T3 or T4 in the blood, right? So if it's too high, it's literally telling you like, hey, we need to bring production up. So it's literally yelling at you. So the TSH marker that you're looking on paper is already, from this basic understanding, is already something that is talking to you. It's literally telling you like, hey, from my standpoint, we need to bring this production all the way to fuck up. But then you look at the free T3 and you look at the free T4 and you go verify if that information is actually true. So you look at the free T3 and the T34 and they are not elevated. So what the fuck could be going on? Blood markers literally don't fucking matter, because they're matching blood level. And the only thing that matters is what is active in the tissue to be used by the cell. So we don't have a test that can measure tissue specificity of these things. TSH is even two separate markers. We don't even have a way to measure TSH quantity versus quality. And those are two separate fucking things. There's also decoys that present themselves just as TSH in your body reads them at TSH, and we are not exactly sure if they show up in blood tests in this way or not. But the point is, you are creating a conversation and a dialogue between markers trying to paint a picture. You're literally asking, like, what I'm doing when I'm looking at your blood work, I'm literally asking a bunch of fucking questions that hopefully your history and your symptomology and your presentation helps me build a coherent picture of what is happening underneath the blood work. So I'm not interested ever in correcting your blood work, fixing your blood work. And the thing that I hate the most when people are like, can you like fix my blood work or read my blood work or something like that? Or like, here are my markers. What do you think? I don't fucking know you. I don't know the rest of your blood work. I don't know your history. I don't know your symptoms. I can't tell you that. Would someone else tell you and give you an answer? Oh yeah, you're hypothyroid. Like, yeah, but you don't have antibodies. So how do you know it's not Hashimoto's? How do you know it wasn't just a bad month and this person is actually in Hashitoxicosis? Like, you cannot fucking know that. It's like, oh, but their thyroid production was down. Okay, but how do you know that this isn't just the problem of TBG being elevated and closing on more of the free fraction that's in the blood? Because 99.99% plus of it is bound, which is why we only look at free numbers and not total numbers. We know this intuitively from testosterone, right? We only care about the free numbers. That's why we crush people's SHBG. So like the way that I look at blood work is a narrative and it is a conversation. It is not a verdict. If you're looking at blood work as a way to fix some specific markers, you do not fucking understand what you're doing. And you're literally treating yourself like doctors do. What do doctors do? They treat the numbers on a page. If it's bad enough, you get meds. If it's not bad enough, fuck you. I don't care about your symptoms. I don't care you feel like shit. You're not going to get anything from me. I don't care what meds you are, how you want, how safe they are. I don't care any of the shit. The textbook says I will not do anything, so I will not do anything. Fuck you, okay? And just sends you home and just be like, oh, maybe you're fatigue and your brain fog and your weight gain. Maybe it's all in your head. Maybe maybe it's depression. Take an SSRI. And like, here we go, right? Like, that's not the right approach. So don't do that with yourself. Actually learn how to communicate with things. So like in my thyroid course, we spend how long, dog? Like we legit go over every metabolic marker and you go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So we literally spent 2 hours on the markers themselves because I'm teaching you how to think through the markers, not just telling you giving you a PDF that says match your numbers to these numbers with these supplements. That is fucking useless. That's not going to make you proficient in anything. And you're also not going to fix the problem. You're just going to fix the numbers, which is going to land you in the exact perfect presentation of the person that comes to me for consultations. This is the most common type of person that hires me. Every single week, I get multiple of these people, okay? It's the person that gets their blood work and they say, my blood work is perfect. My blood levels are good. Everything looks good. There's nothing flagged, but I have no libido. I feel like shit. My sleep is bad. I can't focus. And I'm like, yeah, bro, because you fixed the numbers on a spreadsheet. You didn't actually solve the problem because you were too focused on the fucking trees that you missed the goddamn Amazon forest. So I never look at a single mark. There's no first marker that I look at or anything like that. I don't care about that at all.
I can appreciate that. So where can people find you and work with you if they want to go deeper into all of this?
Optimal Nathan on Instagram. There's the link for everything there. There's a link for my website. There's a new website coming out that's going to make things a little bit clearer, make the consultation process smoother and stuff. If you need consultations, just reach out to me via DM. If you need support with education, the optimization lab, the OptiLab engine is the place to go. And YouTube is where you dip your toes in the water and just learn a little bit of this stuff. So like every now and then I'll do a deep dive with someone on a podcast, like with Drew. We did 3.5 hours with Anthony Castor covering like fat loss and muscle growth with peptides and enhancement and all this type of stuff. That is just dipping your toes, bro. That is not the deep dive. That is just like the basics. If you want the real deal, you go to the OptiLab engine. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I really hope you say yes, but I would love to do another podcast sometime soon. I work so much that I'm always working. Not always, but I work a lot. So like I gotta get to work right now. But I would love.
I have some more time if you have more questions.
I gotta get to work. But what I'm saying is, I would love to dive deep with you on more topics soon because I really like your energy. This has been a really good podcast experience for me because I feel like sometimes I tend to talk a lot when I have guests when I should be like asking more.
Yeah.
And I feel like this has been super informational. And I'm like everything you're saying, I'm like, holy shit, like this is legit. Like it's very not it's very not intriguing. It's very
Yeah,
intriguing, you know?
yeah.
It's very intriguing. I like it. Um any final piece of advice for someone in his 30s that just wants to build muscle and be healthy long term?
Hire me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, yeah, for real. Do it, guys.
That's the short answer. That's the short answer. The long answer is you've got a lot of learning to do. You've got a long road there to learn. You got to understand how aging happens so that you can counteract the effects of aging. You have to understand what the debt it is that you are creating by utilizing different compounds, including peptides, because they do have a cost. They're not free. There's no such thing as free lunch. You have to understand that so that you can pay off this debt before it bites you in the butt and just forces you to pay that debt with a fucking gun in your head, and you're going to have to pay it no matter what. So you have a lot of learning to do. But in general, low and slow is a good approach. You have time. Don't fucking be pressed by just people on social media that you need to grow so fast. You need to do this. Like do hire someone to learn the pace of your body, to learn how your body work, to explain this stuff for you. It's the fastest way. Like I'm not even saying you need a coach for the rest of your life, but like at some point, at least work with someone to learn this stuff so that when you do it yourself, you're more equipped for that, you know? Yeah, that would be my piece of advice.
And do you think that excuse me, do you think, and I'm hoping this is what happens, but do you think fitness and health are going to keep exploding?
Yeah,
like and growing?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're in that time.
Yeah,
I think
we are running towards transhumanism. So the optimizing of human experience all the way through with like electronics and technology and bioenergetics and stuff like that. So we're moving in that direction very aggressively. This has been predicted for hundreds of years by philosophers, as a matter of fact. But it's just fucking crazy how it works. But this is gonna just fucking keep fucking exploding more and more. Yeah.
I'll say this, depending on how advanced technology gets in the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, if I could live to 120 and be like okay to walk, I'll do it. I'll do it right now. Put me on that list. I'll live till the age of 120 as long as I could do some push-ups and pull-ups. I'll do it. I'm all about it. I have this weird, I tell everybody I have this weird gut feeling that I'm gonna live forever. Who knows? I could be totally wrong, but
in a way you are, right? In a way you are, because you are part of the in the universe, in the material world. There is no matter that is destroyed. Matter is only transformed because everything comes down to atoms and quarks, right? So ultimately, things are formed out of atoms. The same atoms that make up a cow make up a chair. So back in the day, in the pre-Socratic philosophers, we thought that atoms had an identity. We know that today that is not the case. So we know that when like you die, you actually become part of the universe that creates new things. Literally, this energy drink right here has atoms that were once part of someone's body. So in a sense, your identity is always preserved in the universe because you are material, not because you are immaterial. It's precisely because of the material that there is continuity within the universe, which is something that anyone who's done psychedelics knows this for a matter of fact.
Okay, hell yeah. One more thing, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think about Ibogaine?
You just asked me probably the most important question of my entire life. I have a podcast with Tony Montgomery that I would recommend people to watch because he did a deep dive in my podcast on Ibogaine. He's a researcher who came out of the strength world and now he works on DMT, but he knows a lot about Ibogaine. I know a lot about Ibogaine because I was the first person in Brazil's medical history under the age of 18 to go to undergo Ibogaine treatment. So I did Ibogaine when I was 16 or 17 years old. It changed my fucking life. It literally changed my life in one dose. It was a wild experience. It was insane. But it literally, like, what it does is it loads off. He was a heroin addict. I think he was in New York or Boston or something. He was in the U.S. I don't remember, but he was also a researcher and he was addicted to heroin. He went to his dealer and he basically asked for heroin. He didn't have heroin, but he said, "Hey, I have this other shit. You want to try it out?" It's like, fuck it, it's drugs. I'm gonna do it, right? Because being a drug addict, if you don't have anything, you're just gonna do whatever the fuck you have in front of you. Which is why drug addicts almost always end up in binge eating disorders. But that's a separate conversation.
Yeah.
Or in fitness or in religion. But it's true, right?
Or
Um,
all
all
three.
three. Me, literally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He got that drug. He went home. He did that drug. I don't remember if he smoked it, if he ingested, he cooked it, but he ingested the drug. And the next day he woke up and he didn't feel like doing heroin. And I don't know if you know anything about heroin, but you just don't wake up feeling like not doing. You
Oh
wake
yeah,
up
yeah.
like the only thing you want is doing more heroin. So he thought that was really weird, so he did a second dose and didn't want to feel like doing heroin at all. So he started studying, and from that, basically, we learned that ibogaine kills neural connections that are coming from compulsive and disordered patterns. So, like when I did ibogaine, I literally had to relearn what my musical tastes are,
Oh shit.
what my movie tastes are. I had to
Oh shit.
relearn how to eat, bro. Like it was weird to eat food because it was
Interesting.
like it rewired my whole entire fuck. It was a mega dose, right? So much so that you do it in a hospital actually because they need to monitor it because ibogaine is very cardiotoxic, which is one of the main reasons why it is not studied so much. Because compared to like psilocybin or LSD or DMT or like frogs and stuff, it's all way more like cardiotoxic. So I think ibogaine is absolutely fucking amazing. I'm actually talking to a therapist right now on WhatsApp who is the only person in this country who is authorized to run ibogaine treatment. I'm always helping people like find different ways of like approaching their optimization and stuff, including for recovery. And the recovery rates are insane for when you look at addiction. So like if you like, it's only like one person out, like it's like less than 5% recovery chances for addiction. The if you go to rehab, like it's really fucking low.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
have actual
yeah,
addiction.
yeah.
So if you really want to change and you have a good support group, it goes up to like 10% only recovery rate. So it's really bad. When you look at the ibogaine numbers, bro, they're over 80% recovery rates.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's insane. It's absolutely fucking insane. Yeah.
I I just heard on I think Sean Ryan's show he was saying that they
Yeah.
just approved ibogaine in Tennessee. I'm in Alabama. I'm like, bring that shit over here. Not
Let
only
me
am
tell
I
you,
an
let me tell
addict.
you, let me tell you, it is not a fun experience at
I
all.
know, I
And
know, I
it's
know.
it's terrible. It's absolutely fucking terrible. It lasts a whole fucking day and it fucks you up for months. There's no other drug that compares to it. Literally, ask anyone who's done DMT, who's done like every other drug,
Yeah,
they're gonna tell you ibogaine is the mother of them all. You literally, dude, you can literally cross into the world and like actually communicate with the dead. That is what it's used
shit.
for as a plant. Like the plant is actually used in a religion in Africa where they literally bury you for 7 days to experience death and communicate with their ancestors. That is how ibogaine. They chew the root of it. It's super fucking interesting. I love fucking drugs, right? That's how I ended up in the peptide space.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But yeah, it's
yeah,
a fascinating thing. But the thing that makes these tools useful, it's not the drug itself. This is where people lose the plot. These drugs do very little. What they do is they put you in a very vulnerable and susceptible position. So the set and the setting matters. You do LSD in a club, that shit could fuck you up for a really long time. It's kind of like doing oxytocin and hanging out with a fucking person who's manipulative. You're gonna be prone to accepting their manipulation. So the time that you use it, just like I was talking about Samax and Selenk, that really does matter. And that's the type of guidance that people don't have because they're doing this shit on their own and they're just approaching it from this very small way of like Samax because I have ADHD, GLP-1 because I want to lose weight. And it's like you're missing the bigger fucking picture. But the point is that the treatment that I did before, it was 3 months of treatment before, leading up to my single dose. After that, it was isolation, 3 months of extensive care, 6 months of less isolation, 6 months of weaning off, 6 months of actually experiencing freedom. So it was like a 3 year process almost for like solidifying the changes into my actual life. It was changing my whole perspective, moving the way, changing the lenses in which I see the world and experience reality. That was all done through therapy. That was all done with actual medical, like doctors and stuff. That was not just like me going to a clinic, doing ibogaine once, doing ketamine once at home with my fucking subscription that I bought. Like that's not what I'm proposing at all. For if you're gonna
yeah,
use it that way, I think it's extremely detrimental. I think it's bad, and I think the odds of you fucking yourself up are very fucking high.
yeah. I know there's a lot of research that what it does with people with TBIs, lighting up like the areas of the brain
Yeah,
that and so I was telling my wife like I've made so many improvements in my life, like like the TBI is the only thing that like I've overcome it but not 100%, and I'm really curious as to what ibogaine could do, because if I could, if I were to get access to it and it was done properly and I adjusted properly and I practiced everything properly, like I just wonder how much more I could change my life.
Dude, I don't even think you need to be that aggressive. I would use ibogaine in the last case resort, but I would actually look into some of the like I have protocols for this. I don't do protocols. I don't believe in protocols. I believe in
Yeah,
like personalizing an approach, which is why like if you start working with me today, you're not gonna get your plan today. You're gonna get your plan in fucking a week or two because I'm gonna do it everything for you from scratch. Okay, so like for you specifically, I would dive into your history. I would learn exactly what your injury did, like how it affected your brain. I would do a brain scan, and then from that, I would utilize an approach that would use compounds that achieve the same thing that ibogaine does. Ibogaine is nudging BDNF. Samax does that. Nupep does that. Dihexa does that. Fucking cerebrolysin does that. Both the bioregulator and the peptide. So they're all different. Cortigen does that. Cortexin does that. So like, which tool are you going to use? I think we can build a fucking arsenal to like regain a whole lot of your function, because if you regain so much with just raw dogging this shit, I think that like if we put you on an actual protocol, you're not gonna need ibogaine whatsoever. You're just gonna fucking
yeah,
be thriving in fucking like no time, you know?
yeah. I actually have been thinking about going and getting another. Is it a CAT scan or MRI for the
Yeah,
brain? Whatever, whichever one it is. But, you know, it's interesting. I'll just say this, and I got to wrap up. When the TBI happened, it was a motorcycle accident. My third motorcycle accident, right? They didn't even know I had a TBI. My mom was
yeah,
like, something is wrong with my
yeah.
son. They're like,
So
no, he's fine. She was like, no, something is wrong. Then I guess they did the thing and they're like, oh yeah, he has a TBI. So I'm really curious as to, you know, I really want to get scanned and see what, if anything, is still lit up. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So, you know, and maybe at some point I can address it, you know, without Ibogaine. And you're right, that is a last resort. But now I'm at a place now in my life where I'm like, okay, like let's get even better, because this
yeah.
isn't where it
No, like
stops.
this is a problem that like this is not even coaching. This is something that we sit down in one consult and we fix your whole problem for a few $100s, and like in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you're gonna notice the effects out of that. Like that's how
Yeah.
fast it is. So it's like if you really want to move over to the next step, I would totally go that route. I would hit someone who's like really specialized in this type of stuff with the peptides and everything, who knows how to leverage these things and has done this in the past, because a lot of people have like theoretical knowledge that when I actually test doesn't get any fucking results because they're just using ChatGPT for all their knowledge, which is
Mhm.
ridiculous. But like it bothers me so fucking much. But like I feel like yeah, dog, I feel like you're kind of sleeping on a lot of goodies here. Like yeah, I just
Yeah.
honest, like I just want to fucking like just let's just wrap this up and fucking do a console real quick and just like fix this
I
shit for you, because it's
I
just like 4 or 5 different peptides and you're fucking covered, you know? Like it's just about
yeah.
the order that you use them, how you sequence them, and making sure that you have all the cofactors for the enzymatic processes that are going to occur under the hood. So that is where it gets really intricate, but like that's a really fucking like quick
Yeah.
like work, man, you know?
We're definitely gonna stay in touch. And I think at some point, you know, when the finances are there, I'll definitely hit you up, because if there's one thing about me, I'm one of those guys. I'm a typical guy. I want to be bigger, stronger, faster, smarter. That's all I care about, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to be a better family man in every area of my life. I just want to be better.
yeah.
And so, like, you know, so at some point, I got you. I will hit you up for that. We're gonna get into
You
this.
got
I
yourself, bro. That's what you're focusing
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
So
And I just want to say, you know, thanks for coming out. We're gonna do this again. This is the Dre Talks podcast. This is Nathan. Check him out. Hit him up. Check him out on Instagram. If you want to lose weight, if you want to gain weight, if you want to build muscle, if you want to enter a bodybuilding competition, whatever it is you want to do, you want to optimize, you want to strive, hit up Nathan. Check him out. This is the Dre Talks podcast, and we're out. Thank you, brother.
let's do it.
We'll talk soon. Okay.
Talk soon, man.
Oh, weird. Quick question. You were saying that I have to keep the window open and not
Oh,
turn off the computer, right?
yeah, so yeah, you can stop the recording, but then after that, you just leave it open. Yeah.